Hey, I just wanted to take a couple minutes and give my review of Iris Home Security and Automation Systems from Lowe's. I've been looking to get a home security system that you could also add components for home automation as well for quite some time. I had done a few reviews online to just see what was the best thing for me. I personally was looking for a system that I could buy, a few things and then add on smoke detectors, water detectors, carbon monoxide, a sounding siren alarm, then the home automation door locks and lights and things like that. So it does give you those options. There are lots of options, and it's fairly cheap. I'll get into what I got and what I paid for it in a minute here. But there are more and more systems like this that give you these options. I also didn't want to pay a monthly fee. I was reading online some people, frowning upon that because you want someone monitoring your house, blah, blah, blah. Well, I didn't want the monthly fee because I feel that with a system that is working properly, if I can get the alerts to my phone as soon as my alarm is triggered or something's happening at my house and I'm not there, then I can just call the police immediately. That was my thought on the monthly fee, and you're not tied to any contract or anything like that. So I decided to go with Iris after reading a few things. Like it hasn't been out super long. I think maybe about a year and a half or so I read. I don't know when it was actually released. So there weren't a lot of reviews online that I found. On YouTube, it was a couple how-tos and some installation tips and things like that, but no first-hand experiences other than a couple forums. So I started out with the hub, which connects from wall power and then into your router. And I also bought two motion detectors, motion sensors with that. The hub's $100, and then the motion detectors are $25 a piece. The way my first floor is set up, two is all I needed on either side of one doorway, and it would pretty much cover my entire first floor if anybody came in from anywhere. So setup was fairly easy. It says it takes 45 minutes to an hour. It did. It's very simple. You plug in the hub to power and your router, and it's got the little green and red and yellow indicators to tell you what status it's in, and then you hook up the motion detectors, get online, set up your account, and then you add the detectors to your system, and then it's good to go, or so I thought. The system itself worked as far as you can set the alarm from the app. The app was a little bit laggy. I'll get into that a little bit more in a minute, but the system works as far as I had my motion sensors set up where I wanted them to be, and I would set the alarm from my phone. It counts down 15 seconds. There's a small speaker on the hub that will count down and say, Iris is setting your alarm. You have 15 seconds. Please leave the house, whatever. And then it says your Iris alarm is set. And it does show you on the app that it is set. And at that point, I would walk somewhere where the detectors would see me, and the hub would ding. And it's fairly quiet. It's just for you to hear. You can, like I said, also buy a separate loud, like a 90 or 100 decibel alarm or siren that you can put in your house somewhere that would actually deter someone, I think. So it would sound and tell me it was going off. Now this is where I ran into my issues. I had my phone number linked to texting and calling and email also, because you put in your email address when you set up your account, and so it was linked that way too. For the 3 weeks that I had it, I could not, only one or two times out of testing it about 100 times, did I get a text or a call before 5 minutes. It was an average of 5 to 10 minutes before I would receive a text or a call. Sometimes the emails would push through before texts or calls to my phone. So I obviously called Iris support, which is one of the things that I did read that was lacking, but I thought, you know, I would give it my shot and see what my experience was. I called Iris support. They said, okay, sorry to hear that. We'll put it to our tier 2 level support team. They will call you back within 48 hours. They didn't call back within 48 hours. I had to call them. I was on hold for a half an hour, finally got through to somebody. I said, why didn't anybody call me back? Why was I on hold for so long? Oh, sorry about the wait, blah, blah, blah. I will re-up your need for the level 2 service to look into why this isn't working properly. So that was that. They said they would call back again. The lady didn't call back. I had to call them. 2 nights in a row, I waited on hold for a half an hour, and the second night, it was a Friday night. I said I had nothing else to do. I was going to wait on hold till I got through to somebody because I needed to talk to somebody to try and figure out what was going on to see if the issue could be rectified. So I finally got through after 45 minutes of hold. Finally, the third lady I talked to in about a 2-week period actually tried to diag the problem while I was on the phone with her, and they can see your system from their computers and whatnot. And she had me delete my numbers, put it on my wife's phone number, see if it worked any better. Anyway, she tried to figure something out and basically figured out that it was definitely on their end. Now my wife's phone, she has an iPhone 4S, I have an iPhone 5S. The texts and calls did seem to come through a little more quickly on her phone than it did mine, but still not close. I mean, I said, am I asking too much? I said, I need to know if what I'm asking for is asking for too much. I feel that they should come through between 5 and 10 seconds of the alarm going off. And they said, yes, that is how it should work. And I said, could you possibly send a suggestion to your developers of the app? And if it would have push notifications, then I feel like that would completely solve this problem. I wouldn't even care about the texts, calls, or emails, because the app itself, if you are in the app and it's showing your green alarm bell, I'm sorry, it's green when it's disarmed, it's red when it's armed, and then your app responds. If your app is open and you're looking at your phone, it responds and says your alarm is going off. So when it triggers, the app knows right away, but only if you have it open looking at it, which is not going to be the case if you're at work or something. You want your phone to alert you that your alarm's going off at home. I said push notifications would solve this entire problem. So she's like, yeah, I'll let the developers know, blah, blah. I didn't trust anything she was saying by this point. And she said she would work on it some more and she would call me back. Well, I waited another 4 days. She didn't call back. Finally called back while I was at work at like 4 o'clock. And she said, sorry, I was hoping we could get this resolved. I said, you know what? I said, don't even waste my time. I said, I'm at work now. I don't know why you call me now. I kept telling her to call me after 8, after my kids are in bed. And she just couldn't get that right. So I said, just forget it. I said, forget it. I said, I'm going to take the system back. I said, this has just been problematic from the beginning between the system not working right, and then on the customer support side was just, you know, everybody hates dealing with bad customer support, and this was one of those situations where they just couldn't get anything resolved. They would not call me back, and I just ended up taking the system back today. So maybe it was just something with the compatibility with an iPhone 5S. I don't know. It didn't get resolved, and I'll never know. But as far as the hub and the motion sensors, they worked. They worked every time, no problem. The alarm sets, and it turns off with the app, no problem. And the motion detectors work very well for the 3 weeks that I used them. It was just actually getting notified of the alarm going off if I were not at home. The one other thing was the app did work, but it was very laggy. Anytime you opened it, your little pinwheel would spin and say updating information, and then it would update again. So that was, you know, obviously when seconds count when you're trying to see something that's going on in your app, it was a bit laggy even when I was on Wi-Fi inside my house. So I hope this helped anyone make a decision if they were looking at Iris from Lowe's. There are quite a few other ones out there that I'm going to try. You know, Iris is just the easiest one because you can walk into a store, you can see what you have there, you can look at 20 different things that you can add on your system later. You can grab them and you're out the door. A lot of the other stuff you can't walk into a store and purchase as far as these smaller kits. I know Honeywell has one that I'm looking into. There's a hub called Mikasa that I'm also looking into, and Simply Safe. I think they all have similar systems with no contract and the add-on with home automation that I'm also going to look into. So, like I said, the hub and the sensors worked well. I don't know what was going on their end. So if you want to take your shot at the system itself and, you know, see if that's something for you, go for it. But if you have to deal with their customer support, I have a good feeling you're going to be in the same boat as I was. So hope this helped anyone who's looking into ours from Lowe's. Thank you.